Hello everybody and welcome to Albuquerque, New Mexico, home of New Mexico United, home of Route 66, and home of tonight's showdown here between number 2 New Mexico United and Oakland Roots. It's Meow Wolf night here at the Lab, Chris, one of our favorite nights of the year. Both of these teams coming in off of some midweek action and different results.
Yeah, huge result for New Mexico United against RSL of the MLS. Oakland Roots come into town with haven't had a great start of the season, but looking to play upset. Like you said, Meow Wolf night, carnival atmosphere here at the Lab. So let's see if they can spoil the party.
This one's going to be a ton of fun here this evening. Let's dive deeper into the matchup here with our players to watch, brought to you by Toyota. Starting off first with New Mexico's Zico Bailey, fresh off a brace in the US Open Cup.
Yeah, 2 goals midweek against RSL. Carbon copies of each other as well, and really close together. It was almost like watching a replay. Just shot from distance, saw the weakness basically, and shot from distance, just bouncing just in front of the goalkeeper to their right-hand side. And yeah, I mean, great goals and really important goals from someone who plays a lot of minutes for the coach and clearly trusted in midfield.
And on the other side for Oakland Roots, it's the number 17, the striker out of Fresno, California. It's Johnny Rodriguez.
Yeah, Johnny Rodriguez, no stranger to scoring against New Mexico United. Scored the winning goal early last season out in Oakland. Top scorer for Oakland last season and current top scorer as well. 12 goals last season, 3 already this year.
The 2024 New Mexico United season is presented by Sandia Resort and Casino, close to home, far from ordinary. We're going to step aside. We'll be back on the other side of this with lineups and kickoff.
Went on 3, 1, 2, 3, yeah. I said the God and he told me keep moving. I'm at the show and they told me keep moving. If it ain't me, tell me who else gonna do it. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it. I'm at the top of my city, I'm Tulip. Bitch said that I be the hottest, improved it. Every day I see the fruits of improvement. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it. Went on 3, 1, 2, 3, yeah. I said the God and he told me keep moving. I'm at the show and they told me keep moving. If it ain't me, tell me who else gonna do it. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it. I'm at the top of my city, I'm Tulip. Bitch said that I be the hottest, improved it. Every day I see the fruits of improvement. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it.
Back here at the Lab, a crowd of about 12,000, maybe 11,000 expected here tonight, as the match here tonight brought to you by Meow Wolf, the original immersive art experience. Let's have a look at these starting 11s brought to you by the Somos Unidos Foundation. First up here, Chris, for the black and yellow, it's going to be a 4-2-3-1 rolled out by Eric Quill, and if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, who actually ends up playing where within the system. Rivas and Jacobo we're expecting to maybe be out wide, but maybe play a little narrow, and that will mean Abdi and Astorga really have to give the width for the team in an attacking sense as well.
On the other side here for head coach Gavin Glinton, more on that to come. You're going to see Memo Diaz making his 100th appearance for Oakland Roots, first player in franchise history to do so.
Yeah, and it's again, midweek game, not the result that they wanted against San Jose. Rodriguez, unfortunately, picking up that red card in the 82nd minute, I believe it was, for a little bit of a rash challenge there. Be interesting to see how he bounces back from that as well, and exactly what kind of formation they try to play on this tight pitch here in New Mexico.
Now, if you're just seen these for the first time, you're probably wondering what on earth is going on. New Mexico not in their normal black and yellow kits here today. No, as I mentioned, it is Meow Wolf night. Things are going to be weird, and that's including the special edition Meow Wolf kits. They're called the Woggles kit, and they dropped earlier this week. They had an incredible event at the team retail store last night. More on that later. It's time for battle here between New Mexico United and Oakland Roots. The visitors have never tasted defeat here at the Lab. Roots come in with a record of 1 win, 2 draws here over the past few seasons. And we are underway. It's New Mexico in black, Roots in white. This is Astorga going back to Tony Herbert. Tony Herbert, he made his way into the lineup, Chris, and frankly just hasn't given up a spot.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a big unit back there as well, and you know it's going to be interesting to see once Caelan Ryden's back from injury to see how if there's any kind of reshuffling there. But Maples and Herbert have really started kind of getting a little bit of chemistry and forming a decent partnership back there.
Paul Blanchette called into action early. Paul the Wall, as he's affectionately known as, the former RGV man, 30-year-old out of Palo Alto, California. Some familiar faces along the Oakland Roots sideline. Gavin Glinton had a brief stint here on the New Mexico United coaching staff a few years ago, as did Peter Davis, who has been the goalkeeping coach for Roots for the past couple of seasons as well. Lots of ties here between these two clubs, even going back as far as the transfer of Salih Muhammad. Now, if something looks off, if you're watching this broadcast thinking, wait a minute, this doesn't quite look like the Lab that I'm used to seeing. That's right, we've actually got a new camera angle that we'll be rolling with here for the rest of the season. So we'll be shooting from west to east and hopefully providing a better viewing experience for you. And speaking of which, thank you for tuning in. Greg Hurst takes this one away. Hurst chips the keeper, and the Scotsman has opened up the scoring here in the 2nd minute. It's his 4th goal of the season, and the leading scorer for the black and yellow adds another to his tally.
And the Scotsman wasting no time and pouncing on the mistake there. I believe Blanchette just a miss kick essentially, and you see how cool Hurst was. You know, maybe players who weren't in the rich vein of form that he's been early on this season might snatch at that chance and just try and blast it. He just dinks it over the keeper, cool, calm, collected, finds the back of the net early on.
Goals are brought to you by Enterprise Builders, built on a foundation of trust for over 30 years. And speaking of trust, Chris, you keep bagging goals like that as a striker, it's hard for your manager not to trust you up there.
Yeah, great. And obviously, you know, the last week or so, he's been Daniel Bruce has been in the starting lineup and deputised absolutely magnificently with 2 goals against the Las Vegas Lights. So he's going to be feeling a little fresher as well. He's not had to do the 3 games this week, so maybe reaping the benefits of that early on as well.
And you can just tell there on the replay, he knew it was in as soon as it left his foot.
And just how calm it is as well. You know, you have to have a lot of confidence to dink, because if it doesn't go right, then you essentially look stupid. So, you know, he had the confidence to just do that when it might have been easier to just pass it in either side of the goalkeeper. He said, no, I'm going to go over him.
Replays tonight brought to you by TLC Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Defend your home with TLC's service experts. Fiesta Auto free kick coming up here. It's Marco Micheletto pleading his case with the official. Micheletto, the Italian, who grew up in England. The new number 10 here for New Mexico United. He has started every single league match here for the black and yellow. He's scored once, he's assisted once, and he's first on the team with 13 chances created. And frankly, Chris, he's really been the maestro in the midfield.
Yeah, he keeps things ticking over, and you know, we would maybe think that he might be playing a little deeper today with Nicky Hernandez ahead of them, but it looks like Zico Bailey and Nicky Hernandez just going a little deeper up the 2 with Micheletto, the free roll, the free range to roam just in and around. Greg Hurst find the ball in behind the striker there.
Throw in coming up here for Roots. Nabil Hackshaw in the midfield, the Trinidad and Tobago international. Looks like we had perhaps a late change here for New Mexico as we have a look over at Eric Quill. The 3rd gaffer in New Mexico United history took over almost a year ago. So from we can see here, it's actually Deon Harris getting the start rather than Jacobo Reyes. Curious if there was something that might have happened during pre-match warm-ups or something that led to Reyes not getting the start. He was given to us on the starting lineups just an hour before kickoff.
Yeah, I'm trying to look across at the bench right now, see if he's actually over there. But with the sun shining squarely in the players' faces, it's hard to pick him out over there.
Diaz able to stop the attempt momentarily. New Mexico come back into possession. You know, and for Eric Quill, it's got to be nice for, you know, obviously, we hope everything's gone well with Jacobo Reyes, but you're able to put in Deon Harris, who only played 45 minutes in the midweek against his former club in RSL.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing that I think you and I have talked about, you know, privately and on air, I believe, the first game as well, it's just the pace, and Harris just came on in that very first game. Obviously, I missed the last game against El Paso, but that early game on in the season, just seeing how much pace he brings to the attack as well. So yeah, not a bad, you know, obviously you hope it's nothing too serious with Jacobo, but not a bad person to be able to slot into the starting lineup at all.
Just over 5 minutes into this one. It's time for our 529 game update, brought to you by the Education Plan, New Mexico state-sponsored 529 plan. Give your kids a better and brighter future. Learn more at theeducationplan.com. Goal kick coming up here for the Greek goalkeeper, the Athenian Alex Tambakis. Made 3 saves in the midweek contest against RSL, conceded twice. It's good enough to see New Mexico on to the next round, the round of 16, where they're going to be headed to the Big Apple, Chris, a date with NYCFC 2 on the horizon. That just a few days before our next home match here on the 25th, as New Mexico will be welcoming in San Antonio FC to the lap. Possession given away. This is Astorga, the El Paso native, Arturo Astorga. He's one of 2 players in this side to have played every league minute this season. Can you guess the other, Chris?
Maples?
Talon Maples. Of course you could. Do your research.
I love when you put me on the spot like that.
Consider the test passed. So an early goal from the Scotsman, Greg Hurst. Here's Hurst linking up with Rivas. Nicoletto keeps it low. It bounces off of Blanchett, and he's able to gather that one up on the second attempt, but Blanchett, a bit of a shaky start here.
Yeah, you can see he's maybe a little rattled from that early mistake that led to Greg Hurst's goal, and there it bounced right in front of him. Those ones, especially, there's been a little rain in the metro today, so maybe the ground is a little slick today. So you know, whenever that happens, it maybe picks up a little speed. So maybe that caught him off guard. But definitely, if I'm New Mexico United, I'm peppering that goal right now.
This is Riley. Riley, the former San Diego Loyal man. Player to watch, Rodriguez. Ball poked forward. Former Phoenix Rising man, Babukar Najai. Shot on goal, no problem there for Alex Tambakis. Tambakis coming into today's match. 22 saves in league play, a couple of clean sheets in 7 appearances. That is Gavin Glinton, the current head coach for Oakland Roots. Of course, Oakland parting ways with Noah Delgado recently, and Glinton taking the helm. As I mentioned, had a cup of coffee here in Albuquerque a few seasons ago. Rodriguez brings this one down. There's Hackshaw.
You see Oakland Roots just starting to settle into the game now, enjoying their best spell of possession. Right, as Nacho gives it away there, but that was their best spell of possession, best territory they've had, where again just trying to maybe slow the game down a little bit. It's been pretty frantic first 10 minutes there, and getting their foot on the ball and starting to knock it around, get a feel for it, and win it back in a decent area here as well.
Reed tried to play that ball forward. Harris now in possession. Harris goes down, and the foul called there on the far side. I believe that was Gomez. Whistled for the offense. New Mexico, you talk about getting the first big chance, Chris. That has been crucial for them. They've actually been able to avoid defeat in their last 10 matches when they score the opening goal. Went all the way back to last August. So generally a good sign here for Eric Quill's men. Storga just double team, ran out of space. The U23 grad. That's Cruz losing possession. Etzker Cruz, an academy product for Oakland, getting the start here today. Absolutely love to see that, the 18-year-old. Foul is called. That was on Gomez.
I think that's his second one in quick succession. Just a little word in his ear from the referee, just to tell him to settle things down a little bit. It was just a little bit of afters.
Harris was looking for the run of Rivas. Goes over the Albuquerque native's head. Sergio Rivas, he's been coming in, playing sparingly a little bit here this season, dealing with some injuries here and there, but when he does play, he's on, Chris.
And it was probably the same last year as well.
Rodriguez with a chance here, and defensive play from Tony Herbert. Doesn't matter, the flag was up for offside anyway. Sorry to cut you off there, partner.
No, that was great defense, because obviously Herbert didn't know at the time as well, and he reeled in Rodriguez there pace-wise and was able to make the clearance. He's, sneaky fast, I think, there. But yeah, talking about Rivas, I think he's been, a little frustrated maybe with the injuries and not getting a run on the team. But someone, again, last year, it was maybe a little bit the same. Every time he was in the team, dangerous, whether it be assists or goals. It was, he had that run towards the last third of the season maybe, where he really got to put a run of games together and started scoring some really important goals for New Mexico United, eventually propelling them into the playoffs.
Got another look there at Gavin Glinton, the current head coach for Oakland Roots. Had a long career as a player. Actually was Turks and Caicos international, made 10 appearances for his country, scoring 4 times. Played in the MLS. Played for Charleston Battery as well. Looks like a bit of an injury here. It's Greg Hurst. Just a bit of a bloody nose, it might look like. Something of that sort. Isle Logue. See him there in the foreground. While we've got a second, let's take a look at our Garcia Automotive Group keys to the game here for New Mexico. Ride the momentum, get the first big chance, stay on the front foot. And I think if you're New Mexico, Chris, for these, you can say check, check, and check through the first 14 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, what a start it's been to the season as well. It's 5 wins already, undefeated at home. I think last year it took them 15 games to get their first 5 wins. So it's been a great start of the season. But it's not how you start the season; it's how you end it.
Yeah, and speaking of the hot start to the season, it's incredible to see, especially when you factor in all of these injuries that we can see here on our Ben Sherman Law injury report. Speaking of, as we're paused for an injury, Kalen Ryden, Abu Danladi, Christian Nava, again, as we understand, Nava potentially out for the season once again, as he re-injured his ACL recently, as he was working so hard to come back. Yeah, absolutely, just wish the best for the young man, the New Mexico United Academy product, the local Albuquerque native. Back to the action here. Here's Micheletto. Abdi Mohammed. Mohammed joined the squad less than 2 weeks ago. And he's already making his 3rd appearance here, Chris, in about a week.
Yeah, and another one, you know, I mean, obviously with the injury to Harry Swartz, and the back line for New Mexico United really has been battered by injuries, unfortunately, but just slotted right in there, you know, and it's one of these initial short-term deals, very similar to what Nicky Hernandez was last year. Be interested to see if that gets extended. Or just laughing while you were talking there, Nicky Hernandez trying to battle with Herbert for the ball, and he's a unit trying to win the ball off him, and he's just kind of shrugging him off and swatting him away like a gnat, basically. Yeah. So Hernandez is going to have his hands full in the middle of the park there.
Here comes Abdi Mohammed. Goal scorer Greg Hurst. New Mexico just enjoying a spell of possession here. Welcome to everybody watching on ESPN Plus, watching around the country, watching out in the Bay Area.
I mean, we've got to give a shout. We know people are watching in Roswell as well. You know, we've got to give a shout out to Roswell, New Mexico.
Watching all around the state of New Mexico. Of course, we'd like to welcome those watching us on Estrella TV, or if you're watching on KOAT later on this evening. Harris stays on his feet, finds Hurst. Unable to control there on the turn was Greg Hurst. Hernandez judged to have fouled Nabil Hackshop. Gorgeous conditions out here this evening, Chris. A little bit breezy, but all things considered, 63 degrees. It rained a little bit earlier here today, so it cooled down. The wind died down from the, I don't want to say gale force winds, but I mean, overnight it was awful. Gusts were up and around the 50s.
Yeah, it's been bad the last few days. I thought we were going to, you know, it seems like a lot of New Mexico United games recently have been in brutal wind. I remember, you know, Phoenix Rising was crazy windy as well, and there's been others. I think NCFC was as well. But yeah, I mean, you know, as you know, I was out at the soccer complex, the local soccer complex. We had an hour delay because of lightning, and it's humid. It's just, yeah, perfect soccer conditions this evening, and obviously a bumper crowd in here enjoying it as well.
Expecting to see close to 11,000 here at the Lab tonight. The black and yellow faithful showing out as usual. And that's coming off 5,000 in the midweek against RSL. Here's Micheletto. He's through. Micheletto. And the shot attempt blocked at the last moment.
I think that was Logue there at the last second. You see Micheletto, he just got the wrong side of his defender, and Logue came across, lunge and tackle right at the last second to save the shot. And Blanchett was in trouble again there, because Micheletto was just striding forwards, and doesn't even look like he's putting much effort into running there, just getting behind defenders, just kind of glided into the 18-yard box there.
New Mexico United corner kick. Micheletto plays this one in high, and Blanchett climbs the ladder.
That'll do his confidence no harm as well. Just coming through a little crowd of players, safe hands, and it'll give his defenders a little pep in their step as well.
Tony Herbert, the Trinidad and Tobago international, 26 years old. Making his 5th appearance for New Mexico here this evening in league play. There's one cap for the Trinidad and Tobago national team. Back in possession here. There's Astorga now. Hurst, unable to win the corner. think I just saw Deadpool in the crowd. Meow Wolf Night. It's the Magic Minute here at the Lab, a tradition that has been going on here since the beginning in 2019 here at New Mexico United matches. Tony Herbert heads this one to safety. There's Bailey. So the Magic Minute, it was an idea brought forth by the club's first ever head coach and technical director, Troy Lassane, current head coach at DC United. He brought this idea. Look at that. That was stellar. Some of the costumes you see here tonight. The Magic Minute, it starts at the 19-minute, 12-second mark. That's to signify when New Mexico became a state. And it ends at the 20-minute, 18-second mark. And that's to signify when New Mexico United were announced as a club. And you just sprinkle in a little bit of Meow Wolf Night, and you got some Deadpool and some other different costumes that you see out there. And for those that are unfamiliar with what Meow Wolf Night means, pull up your Google during the halftime break and just Google Meow Wolf. And just, it's hard to explain. Foul called here on Greg Hurst. Carnajai hearing it from the fans here. Not the first time he's been the main culprit for the visiting team. He was here last season with Phoenix Rising. Actually got red carded in that game. Before that card came, he was just say he was acknowledged each time he received the ball. A bit of an elbow thrown there. Called by our official Brandon Stevis. AR's on the side. You've got Benjamin David and soon Yinka Kahindi. Our fourth official is Mario Garcia. Nicoletto. Is that one cut out by Memo Diaz. As we mentioned earlier, on his 100th appearance here tonight for Oakland Roots, he's the first player in club history to do so. Congratulations going out. This ball played forward. Here's Cozy. And thought he had a chance, but the offside flag is up. And Backus, I'm sure, breathing a sigh of relief.
I mean, another great save. It's one that won't go in the stats section because of the offside call, but it's a save that he had to make. Obviously, the whistle hadn't gone when the shot was there, but Mexico United just a little bit open there. I think it was Astorga. Nicoletto maybe as well, just lost the ball in possession, and Astorga had gone forward, so they just played into that space that the right back had vacated basically, and clean through on goal. And Tambakis really quick off his line and made himself really, really big, made the target very small. So great save, but a little warning sign for New Mexico United, and Oakland Roots starting to maybe create a couple of chances as well.
Nicoletto tried to play that outside of the boot to Dayon Harris. It was cut out by Diaz. Eric Quill giving some instruction. What a start to the season for the manager, Eric Quill. Coming into this one, sitting in second place in the Western Conference here in the USL Championship with a game in hand. Turnover, here's Rodriguez. Looking to play this forward, it's Reed now. And once again, the offside flag goes up against Oakland.
That's the second time Reed, and he's left side of the front three, looking right down the line. It's inexcusable, really. I was talking about that today with some of my players as well. They kept getting caught doing it. Very, very frustrating as a coach, seeing someone who's looking down the line, not paying attention to the line of the defenders as well.
The last thing you want to hear as a defender is Dayon Harris in space. Finds Rivas. Rivas unleashes one right at Paul Blanchette. Looking to counter now. Here come Roots. It's Trayvon Reed. Still Reed. As that stopped and blocked there by Astorga. Rodriguez able to turn away from Husu, and the deflection, Herbert, the deflection, thankfully for Tambakis, goes wide of goal.
You could see Tambakis as well. If that had deflected on target, he was completely wrong-footed, and he gave the look of, please go wide. And it was just out of nothing. Such a quick turn, explosive turn by Rodriguez, completely wrong-footed Herbert. Left him for dead, and then just tried to curl it in actually the far right corner as he was looking, and the deflection nearly took it into the bottom left.
Corner kick coming up here for Oakland. That's Diaz and Najai back there. Diaz playing it. Initial header, bounces forward, now cleared away by Harris. Fans, mark your calendars. Wednesday, May 29th, Monterey Bay FC takes on Eastern Conference leader Charleston Battery at 10 p.m. Eastern on the CBS Sports Network. New Mexico has had their CBS Sports Network match of the season against Tampa earlier. And I got to say, it's a really cool thing that the league is doing, just getting the exposure to more and more people.
Yeah, for sure. It's a shame where it seems like those national televised games, Mexico United tend to not have great outings. And obviously, there's only been 2 bad results so far for New Mexico United, and that happened to be one of them. And Tampa Bay just absolutely took them to the sword.
Tampa, obviously, a quality club when it comes to the USL Championship. You can normally find them atop or near the Eastern Conference standings. Al Lang Stadium, one of the hardest places to play in the championship. Naples able to cut that out with a header, but not able to find Abdi Mohammed.
A yellow card, just kicking the ball there.
28th minute yellow card for Abdi Mohammed. That's going to be something to watch. Mohammed, as you mentioned earlier, on a short contract, a trial basically, a 25-day contract that was announced on May 3rd. So by my math, Chris, and no mathematician, but that leaves about 17 days left. Picked up an assist, actually, in his debut for the club. 13 minutes in, assisted Daniel Bruce against Las Vegas Lights last weekend. Mohammed, former Columbus Crew 2-man. His teammates with Micheletto. Micheletto, the captain of those Crew sides, those Crew 2 sides, I should say. Maples, former Dynamo 2-man. He too, the captain at his former club. Offside flag up once again on Trayvon Reed.
As soon as that one went up, I just looked to the Oakland bench just to see what their reaction was, and there was, let's say, there was some gesticulating in his direction.
Trayvon Reed, the Jamaican former Harborview FC man. Backus facing a little bit of pressure. Mexico got to be careful here. Roots turning up the heat defensively, able to force a turnover.
Yeah, you can see how organized Roots have become the last probably like 5, 10, maybe even 15 minutes. Really limiting New Mexico United to playing in front of them, keeping them at arm's length, and New Mexico United get to this kind of area, and once they try and get, when was the last time we said Greg Hurst's name, struggling to find the game, Micheletto getting a little frustrated in the middle of the park as well, where his little flicks and passes aren't really coming off.
Here's Harris, able to get through. Deon Harris, initial shot, save, and Hurst sends it just wide of the goalpost. The Scotsman on a brace already here in this first half. Couldn't bag the second goal, but what a run from Deon Harris.
The pace of Harris, I mean, speed kills. And I am pretty sure McGee got a touch at the very last second there to take Hurst's shot just wide of the post. We'll see in the replay here. Pretty sure it just flicked off the inside of his leg as the shot comes in. It's hard to see from there, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he got a touch to it and pretty much saved the second goal for Oakland there and kept them just one back.
Well, you got to be right, because this is Micheletto sending in a sizzler straight into the box. That had no turn on it whatsoever. That was a dart thrown right at the near post. And New Mexico will have another go here from the corner. Here's Micheletto once again. 1 assist on the young season for the number 10. Maples flick that one on. There's a foul called in the box as Johnny Rodriguez went to ground. It's over 30 minutes gone by here. Chris, what are your thoughts for both sides?
I think Oakland Roots, you can see they've got a foothold in the game now. They've struggled to test and back us. You know, both the chances that they've had have been offside. That's the biggest thing, right? You can see the gap right now. Reed is in a ton of space right now. It's just out of shot, but we can see it. Storg is just getting caught with him. He's just playing in his blind spot just behind him, and they've gotten in just a few times down their left-hand side channel. Here they go again down that side. Just over hit, but that's something they're trying to target, is New Mexico United's right-hand side and their left-hand channel, and just trying to get in behind there, and it's worked a couple of times. New Mexico United, obviously blistering start. Since then, you know, there's been a little moments of individual brilliance. I just say maybe the tempo, it's a little too slow in the build-up, so like right now you can see it's a little easy for Oakland Roots to stay in their shape. You know, if they can maybe move the ball in. Zico Bailey, Nicky Hernandez haven't seen a lot of the ball. Micheletto's seen the most out of all the midfielders. Harris is starting to come into the game, which is obviously a huge plus for New Mexico United, and a big worry for Oakland Roots.
Rivas navigating through the defenders. Looking to play this for Harris. Harris tried to make the exact same run. Corner kick coming up. Got a bunch of score updates there for you. Up in the top left corner of your screen, a draw played between Detroit and Phoenix. Switchbacks putting 2 past Hartford. Late there between Lou City and Orange County. Rhode Island and Sac as well. That's a big win there for Rhode Island. Wow. Down went Bailey. Roots breaking now. Here's Cruz, the Academy product. Still Cruz. Hard challenge there from Hernandez. And ball says the official. Ball turned over now. Here's Najai.
Big tackle there by Hernandez. Had to get it right. And Cruz had just burst into the 18-yard box. You could see he was daring himself to do it, but got the timing absolutely right. But there was a break on there, and it took a while for Zico Bailey to pluck himself up off the turf there. So hopefully no injury concerns for either of the players there.
Herbert clears that one out. Oh, and I've just found out Sac Republic score a second half stoppage equalizer in Rhode Island to come away with a road point. That one ends 2-2. It was Ricketts finding the back of the net 3 minutes into second half stoppage time. Rhode Island denied of a massive 3 points there. Wow. Fans, the USL Championship is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. As Astorga just didn't quite have the pace to get to that one.
Yeah, Rhode Island, first year in the league and denied their second win of the season against high-flying Sac Republic. Sac Republic just sitting there, the one team sitting just above New Mexico United, and I tell you what, that's what great teams do. Never say die. What do you say, 93rd minute? It's like, if you've been tracking the Bundesliga, Bayer Leverkusen out there undefeated the entire season, and the number of goals they've scored after the 94th minute is like setting a record. It's unbelievable.
Foul called there by the officials, so a free kick coming up for New Mexico. And just for a moment there, while Sac Republic were down, New Mexico held the top spot on the tiebreaker, but alas, as full time has come, Sac back on top of the West, sitting at 20 points. New Mexico with a game in hand. As we'll get another look at this TLC replay here. Hurst goes down, and that was dangerous. That was right outside the box.
That was a little reckless there. That was Diaz just kind of dangled a leg out and invited Greg Hurst to take the contact, So I think Hurst saw it coming and was able to kind of jump out of the way of it. Yeah, really. And this is where the referees placed the ball, it was definitely a lot closer to the 18-yard box than that. But this is really difficult actually as an attacking player. Can you get the ball up and down, over the wall and back underneath the crossbar? It's a really difficult distance.
Micheletto is placing this here. Now Greg Hurst is going to have a touch. And this has to be difficult as well for Blanchette in goal.
He has so many bodies between him and the ball, like just being able to see what's going on. Normally you would see it a one this close, maybe the draft excluder, someone lying down behind the wall to avoid the low shot, because walls tend to, there he goes. He's just dropped down behind the wall. I can't see who it is. Someone's been deployed.
Micheletto has that one hit into the wall. There's definitely one side that New Mexico prefer attacking through.
Yeah, and you can tell because, look how narrow Sergio Rivas is right now. You can just see him. He's just popping in the bottom of the screen there, the bottom of his shot, and he's almost playing like a centre forward right now, and he is the right side of that three behind Greg Hurst. He's starting to meander his way out wide right now, but that's why Oakland Roots have had so much joy down their left-hand channel, as Astorga is really the only one giving any kind of width on this right-hand side for New Mexico United. Well, obviously Rivas is out here now, but yeah, that left-hand side and Harris is definitely a preferred option for New Mexico right now.
Abdi Mohammed goes back to Zico Bailey. So we mentioned a brace in the midweek against Real Salt Lake. It's actually occurred on this goal that New Mexico are attacking. And if you go back and watch the replays of those goals, it's hard not to think that you just saw the exact same goal as a replay. Yeah. They essentially were, and they were 2 minutes apart. 17th minute, 19th minute. They essentially restarted play, won possession, went back down, and Zico Bailey had to go from the exact same spot, exact same result.
So I actually missed the first half. I was out on the field coaching, and that was the text message I got. Was I thought I just watched the replay. And it wasn't. Honestly, Nicky Hernandez's goal wasn't too dissimilar either. It was a very similar kind of distance and strike as well.
Huge night for the black and yellow. It was the first time in club history that New Mexico United have hosted an MLS side. Of course, not the first MLS side that they've defeated. Of course, a storied history in the U.S. Open Cup for the black and yellow started back in 2019. They defeated Colorado Rapids in penalty kicks, then went on out to Dallas, beat FC Dallas, then made it into the quarterfinals where they lost to Minnesota United back in the tournament in 2022, where they beat Legends, Las Vegas Legends, and that's a very close challenge there in the box, right in front of the official as well, as Greg Hurst applying some defensive pressure. And Hurst going to be called for the foul here.
My first instinct is I think Nicky Hernandez might have got away with one there. He definitely kind of lunged, didn't move his feet, lunged a little bit, and it's hard to tell. It's at the opposite end of the field to us whether there was contact or whether the attacker initiated the contact, saw the lunge and kind of left his foot dangling there. It's hard to tell. I believe that's the discussion that's going on right now. But there was definitely a decision to be made there, or decision to Hernandez left it up to the official there, unfortunately. You kind of see there was a collective holding of breath.
Looking for Reed. And once again, the offside flag goes up on Trayvon Reed. By my count, that's at least 4.
I was going to say 5, but yeah, you might be right with 4, but I think he's going to be talked to at half-time is my guess. And you can see he's playing right on his shoulder. And again, it's that channel just behind Astorga as well, where they definitely feel like that's somewhere where they can get some joy.
Here's Bailey. Nice touch there from Abi Mohammed. For Nicoletto. That pass cut out by Diaz. Hurst comes back in possession now. Rivas, 42nd minute, New Mexico attacking once again. Abi Mohammed. There's Bailey. Offside flag is up. Hackshaw to Camden Riley. Riley, 32 appearances for Loyal last year. There's Babakar Najai. Plays the cross in. And a great opportunity there for Johnny Rodriguez.
Johnny Rodriguez, we spoke about him in the pre-game, player to watch there, and that's probably the first time Oakland Roots have managed to get around the outside and just put a vicious ball in, and he managed to just create just half a yard of space. Herbert and Maples, he just found that space in between them, so neither player was really picking him up, and just got the connection wrong at the last second.
Here's a look at this TLC replay. Johnny Rodriguez, the 25-year-old, looking for his 4th goal. Just his 9th appearance here tonight.
It looks like New Mexico United. That could have been a corner. I think it actually was Herbert who got his foot on there. I might have not enough credit there. It looks like that was really good defending, but maybe the optical illusion played a trick on the referee, and that was actually a corner.
Harris able to win possession, looking for help, coming through the box, and instead it's going to be a corner kick for New Mexico. Lots of corners here in this first half for the black and yellow. Here's Nicoletto. Went back post and nobody home. Babakar Najai out of Serekunda, the Gambia. mentioned former Phoenix Rising man. Also spent some time with RGV. Into first half stoppage time. We've got 2 minutes of New Mexico Pinon Coffee celebrating 30 years. Great coffee since '94. So first half started off with a quick goal. Greg Hurst scoring under 2 minutes into this one. Was in the second minute. Here's Reed, the Jamaican. There's Najai now. Runs into the wall there of Zico Bailey. Cozy. One minute of first half stoppage gone by. Here's Riley. Roots seem to be going further and further back here. Foul committed there by Talon Maples. And Maples is going to get a yellow card.
I think that was more for kicking the ball away, but I think as he passed the ball, there was like a split second where the whistle went and then he passed the ball, fizzed the ball straight into Harris. I'm assuming that's why he's done it, but so that would be 2 yellow cards just for time wasting, essentially.
The back left of that defensive side, Maples and Abdi Muhammad both on yellow cards. Those yellow cards brought to you by Ferguson Law Firm. Roots with one last chance here at the end of the first half, and that's going to do it. 45 minutes in the books. It's Greg Hurst's second minute goal. The difference here between the two sides. His 4th goal of the season. Chris, your thoughts?
Yeah, obviously a blistering start, and then both teams honestly kind of cancelled each other out for the rest of the first half. A couple of little chances for Oakland Roots later on in the half. New Mexico United huffing and puffing away in midfield, but struggling to create any clear-cut chances. But yeah, I mean, they've got their noses in front and have something to hang on to now.
It's halftime. Your score, New Mexico United 1, Oakland Roots 0. Halftime score brought to you by First Financial Credit Union. We'll go ahead and step aside. We'll be back with some halftime.
With more ways to win, whatever game you play, Sandia Resort Casino. Now more than ever. Close to home, far from ordinary.
Win on 3, 1, 2, 3, yeah. I told the guy and he told me keep moving. I'm at the show and they told me prove it. If it ain't me, tell me who else gonna do it. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it. I'm at the top of my city, I'm Tulip. Bitch said that I be the hottest, improve it. Every day I see the fruits of improvement. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it. Went on three, 1, 2, 3. I thought the guy and he told me keep moving. I'm at the show and they told me prove it. If it ain't me, tell me who else gonna do it. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it. I'm at the top of my city, I'm tooling. Bitch said that I be the hottest, improve it. Every day I see the fruits of improvement. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it.
Welcome back here to the lab. It's Meow Wolf night as New Mexico United lead Oakland Roots 1-0 here at the half. Your score brought to you by First Financial Credit Union. Plenty to get into here during this halftime break. So let's go ahead and just kick things off here with a look at some scores from around the country. Scores, Detroit City and Phoenix. There you see Switchbacks putting 2 past Hartford. Lou City putting 3 on OC. As we mentioned there during the broadcast, Sac Republic with a second half stoppage time equalizer to steal a point on the road up in Rhode Island. Rowdies losing to Birmingham in Tulsa, putting 2 past Riverhounds back on at the half. So moving on here, we've got our standings. This is a look at the Western Conference. This was coming into today's game. New Mexico United sitting up there in second place, as we mentioned, with a game in hand behind leaders Sac Republic. Oakland Roots, we've touched on their struggles, parting ways with Noah Delgado, their head coach, early this season. You can see exactly why. Just 2 wins so far through 9 matches played.
Yeah, it's starting to shape up to be another interesting season. Obviously, the movement between teams coming from the Eastern Conference into the Western Conference as well is added a little spice, a little difference this year for New Mexico United fans and for the Western Conference fans.
And speaking of the Eastern Conference standings, Charleston Battery leading the way there, still undefeated, 7 wins, 3 draws in their 10 games played. They're plus 18 in the goal differential department. Lou City sitting in second. DCFC in third off a massive midweek upset in the U.S. Open Cup over reigning champions Houston Dynamo. But the standings starting to take shape here as we get further along into the season. News and notes, the Konami eFootball Player of the Month. It's Nick Markanek, as he put up 8 goals, 3 assists, 11 goal contributions. Just absolutely sublime there from the Charleston Battery forward. The National Soccer Hall of Fame welcoming Memphis 901 Sporting Director Tim Howard, and also USL founder Francisco Marco. Of course, the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, 9 USL Championship teams advancing into the round of 16, including New Mexico United, where they'll be taking on New York City FC, 2 of MLS Next Pro in the next round. And before we get out of here, let's have a look here at our Team of the Week from Week 9. A familiar face there for black and yellow supporters. It's Daniel Bruce, but your Player of the Week, Marlon Santos from Memphis 901. And yeah, it's Meow Wolf night. I think we've mentioned that, and you're probably wondering what that means. That is what it means. We'll be back here in just a moment.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
The best nights start with Jägermeister. Made with 56 botanicals. Always served ice cold.
Take a miracle to come back from this. Heartbreaking end to the season. But what's this?
For the moments when anticipation
Clock's counting down. 5 seconds. 3, 2.
becomes celebration. Jägermeister. Meister the moment.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the halftime costume contest here for Meow Wolf Night. All part of the experience. So much stuff going on. Chris, I saw somebody on stilts earlier. I actually think they're down there on the pitch right now. Speaking of, let's go ahead and pitch on over to the highlights of the first half, brought to you by Ferguson Law Firm. We're here for you. We're here to win. Speaking of, Greg Hurst, he's here to win, opening things up just in the second minute here. It's his fourth goal of the campaign.
Yeah, Blanchett just caught with the ball there, and Greg Hurst made absolutely no mistake. The calmness, the composure, just to dink it over again. It could have been real easy for him to slot it either side, but had the awareness to dink it over, and then that's really one of the main chances for Oakland Roots there. Tambak is really big, kept himself big, didn't go down too early. Huge save there. I think it ended up being offside as well. And this is the one I was saying to you, I believe Najai just gets a little touch at the back post, because I think that was sneaking in at the back post there, and you can see just getting a ladder, or maybe it was Reed actually, I might think, but there was just a little touch there. And yeah, Cozy actually it was, I believe, just got a little touch, and otherwise it would have been 2-0, but after the Greg Hurst goal early on, really chances were few and far between.
Let's have a look at these halftime stats and see what the numbers here tell us. Chris, New Mexico with the lion's share of the possession at 62%. You can see what the expected goals was, and according to that metric, not a whole lot being generated there from Oakland.
No, yeah, but again, I think really the reason why the XG is so low for them is because of the stat right below, where they kept getting caught offside, and Reed was responsible for 4 of those 5 offsides as we talk about during the broadcast. But yeah, New Mexico United, the 7 shots, and again, there was some of those maybe blocked as well, but I think New Mexico United, it's been comfortable. Oakland Roots have played their part in a really actually entertaining first half though.
Our first half stats brought to you by Duke City Cares. The winner of this costume contest actually gets a free pair of season tickets next year. So, just in case you were wondering, we're going to go ahead and step aside. We've got 45 more minutes of football coming right up after this.
Three, 1, 2, 3, yeah. I told the guy and he told me keep moving. I'm at the show and they told me prove it. If it ain't me, tell me who else gonna do it. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it. I'm at the top of my city, I'm tooling. Bitch said that I be the hottest and prove it. Every day I see the fruits of improvement. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it.
New Mexico is where it all started. Climbing with my dad. And by 16, I was climbing on the World Cup circuit. Scaling limestone walls and desert caves. It's where I feel free.
Halftime here at the Lab. Your score, New Mexico United 1, Oakland Roots 0. It was the Scotsman Greg Hurst. He's your leading goal scorer for the Black and Yellow this season, adding another to his tally. He's now got 4 on the campaign. And after coming off a brace against North Carolina FC back on April 20th, that coming by way of a 19th minute penalty kick and a 29th minute goal about 10 minutes later. We've got the second half coming up here momentarily. Besides, in no rush to come out of their dressing rooms here, Chris, as you get a look at the crowd. Again, about 11,000 on hand here at the Lab tonight, celebrating what is just the third home match of the season for the Black and Yellow.
Yeah, and we didn't really mention it much in the first half once we kind of got into the game, but it really did fill in nicely, the crowd. It was you know, there must have been big lines and getting in, because as the half progressed, it certainly filled in. And the big test, or the way that you can tell how full it is here, is how packed the berm is. Like you can see right now on screen there, where you see how many people are just enjoying the grass berm on the blankets over there, enjoying the game.
Back out onto the pitch come both sides. Again, New Mexico United in a special edition Meow Wolf kit here tonight. It's called the Woggles kit, and a very limited quantity released earlier this week. This is something that the club does each and every season, Chris. It's actually a really cool thing. They partner with a local artist to design these kits. We've seen some stellar kits throughout the years, some really fun designs, from the Portals kit to a couple of years ago to the Future Fantasy Delight kit with all the black and white characters on it, from the Roadrunner to the Chili, the Alien that was on there. Again, just the blending of art and sport that this club really focuses on, tying in different communities that may not necessarily be soccer fans, and that's why you see these crowds of 11,000 like we're seeing here tonight.
Yeah, it's one of the games that I know, like, you know, as you know, my wife and kids come, and my kids love this night, just walking around. It is like people watching as much as the game. Like, obviously they enjoy the soccer as well, but just people watching it in the Meow Wolf night is a sport in itself.
People watching, and I think the coolest part is obviously seeing all the different costumes that we see here on the concourse. It's essentially Halloween at a soccer match, for lack of a better description, but just some of the costumes that we see, so creative. A lot of them homemade, as well as we are going to see a halftime change, a couple of halftime changes here, actually. One for New Mexico, as Sergio Rivas is replaced by Makwele Akale. And on the other side for Oakland Roots, it's going to be Etzker Cruz being replaced. I didn't quite catch who came in for him. We'll work on getting confirmation there for you. I believe actually it was Cedeno. It is Jasiel Cedeno. He started in the midweek against Quakes. For Cedeno, this is his 9th appearance, the Ecuadorian, 24 years old. And Roots coming out hot here, looking to ask some questions early in this in the second half. Down goes Cedeno, the substitute, coming on like a firecracker, Chris.
And it was straight into the action, just driving at the New Mexico United defense there. And there's nothing worse as a defender than someone coming full tilt at you as well. And it was clumsy, the tackle at the end. I think it was his tackle on Abdi, I think it is, there as well. And then a little clumsy with Maples when they went into the 18-yard box and close to the 6-yard box as well. But referee saw nothing wrong with any of the challenges. It was more of the follow-through on Abdi there. You can see he just kind of follows through and catches him after he lands. You can see he just kind of catches studs just down the back of his Achilles tendon there, maybe his calf muscle. That'll be a sore one tomorrow morning.
Free kick here, or excuse me, a goal kick for New Mexico. Abdi Mohammed out of Nairobi, Kenya, his hometown. Mohamed, although he's from Kenya, he actually represents the Somalian national team. He's made 2 caps. Here's Cedeno. Cedeno caused some problems for San Jose in their Tuesday matchup as Hackshaw gets a deflection, and this one gets past Tambakis. Nabil Hackshaw has equalized here early in the second half. The captain scoring his first goal of the season.
And it's not the first time tonight that a deflection has caused an issue for Tambakis. The first one in the first half went the wrong side of the post if you're Oakland Roots, but no such luck for New Mexico United on this one. Tambakis completely wrong-footed. It's really a hot shot from distance, but very similar start to the second half as what we had the first half. Same goal, same end of the field. Oakland Roots this time finding the back of the net very early on.
That's the captain, Nabil Hackshaw, the Trinidad and Tobago international. He's got 2 goals for his country. He's got 2 goals now in league play for Oakland Roots over his 2 seasons. There you see it just takes a deflection. Tambakis, absolutely nothing he could do there. Looks like Maples.
Yeah, just hits Maples on the way through. Maybe hits him off the chest on the way through. Absolutely nothing Tambakis could do. Had already committed to the shot. And again, it was a shot that looked like Tambakis was pretty comfortable with. Goes back to the old adage, you don't shoot, you don't score, and he took a pot shot, and that via the deflection, Oakland Roots back in this game.
Oakland Roots, as a reminder, have never tasted defeat here at the Lab. They've played here 3 times. They've got 1 win, 2 draws. Cedeno involved in the action once again.
You can just tell Cedeno is all action. As soon as he gets the ball, his first touch is forwards, and he is going 1,000,000 miles an hour at defenders as quickly as he can, and he's making things happen right now.
Positive touches forward for Josiel Cedeno, the Ecuadorian. So it's a Fiesta Auto free kick. Tonight's match, it's reminding me of another one that we saw here between these 2 sides previously. Back in 2021, Chris, Devin Sandoval scored 6 minutes in for New Mexico United. Then Roots able to equalize in the 34th minute. That one ended 1-1. Free kick, and that one just goes outside of the post. I believe that was Babacar Jai having a rip there.
You can always tell by the goalkeeper's reaction how comfortable they were, and Tambakis was sprawling across there. He wasn't 100% convinced that was going wide of the post.
Here's Roots once again. New Mexico can't seem to get out of their own half here in this, to the start of the second half. Gomez. Riley goes back to Logue. Niall Logue out of Northern Ireland, 28 years old. Down goes Mukwele Akale. He replaced Sergio Rivas at the half. That substitution brought to you by the Somos Unidos Foundation. Positive outcomes for every New Mexican. Depending on how tonight's game goes, we may see New Mexico United Academy products. And you'd be excited to see that, Chris. Jackson Dubois has been coming in, making some late game appearances for the black and yellow here over recent weeks. Made his league debut last Saturday against Las Vegas Lights. Was on the pitch for exactly 24 seconds as a professional in the USL Championship before receiving his first booking.
And does not surprise me at all. Jackson used to play for the club I work for, Rio Rapids, as well, and there was that tackle, and then the tackle against RSL. Again, I think the announcers at the time were actually thought it was someone else, but an absolute thunderous tackle against MLS opposition. Hadn't been on the field but maybe a minute, and the most committed tackle in midfield, where had to get it right or was probably going to get a card again. And yeah, just 100% commitment, all action. So hopefully we get to see him at some point tonight. We'll wait to see how the game unfolds.
Herbert looking to track this one down. New Mexico United are struggling defensively here as this ball bouncing around in the box. An acrobatic attempt there from Johnny Rodriguez. And it's going to be a corner kick here for Roots.
Speed kills. And very similar to what we saw in the first half with Harris turning the corner on Oakland Roots. Same side of the field, but now it's Reed on the left for Oakland Roots. Just turned the corner on Herbert. Couldn't keep up, basically. And New Mexico United, it's 6s and 7s inside their own 6-yard box right now, trying to just scramble and get anything on the ball at all to try and clear the danger.
That's Memo Diaz and Babacar Najai both standing over this one. It's going to be Najai with the in-swinger, bouncing around again. And Tambakis is furious as another corner kick has been awarded here to Oakland.
I thought that was Hackshaw who got the last touch there, it looked like, and it just popped through someone's legs, so he didn't have time to really react and get any kind of clean shot on target. But that was another nervy moment for New Mexico United.
Najai goes again, this time back post. And we're going to see a third consecutive corner kick coming here from Roots.
Amazing how the momentum has changed since the halftime break. Oakland Roots have come out of the locker room absolutely flying and already got one goal, and it looks like they are definitely hunting down and searching for that go-ahead goal right now.
There's Diaz and Najai once again. Memo Diaz, the 28-year-old, on his 8th appearance of the season for Roots here tonight. This one going back post, headed away by Micheletto. Harris with Logue all over his back, and the foul called by Brandon Stevis. Fans can't watch the match? Turn on SiriusXM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Plus, you can hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on SiriusXM FC 157 and the new SiriusXM app. Foul called against New Mexico here. That's the goal scorer, Nabil Hackshaw, down in pain. The captain, Danny Gomez, had the assist on the goal scored by Nabil Hackshaw. That's his second assist on the season. That leads Oakland Roots. Get another look here. TLC replay. Hackshaw still down. Well, we've got a moment. Let's tell you that eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Some updated scores up in the top corner there for you. And Nabil Hackshaw is making himself known here with the locals. He's taking his time. Roots back in control here as we restart play. Diaz playing the cross in, and that's over everyone's head. Chris, just over 10 minutes gone by here in the second half. What have you seen?
All Oakland roots. I can't remember New Mexico United really crossing the halfway line. Oakland roots have got their press right. As you can see, they're winning it again, really deep in New Mexico United territory. New Mexico United just can't. They're just harassing. Can they keep this up in the altitude for the entire second half? We'll wait and see. But New Mexico United, you can see, just getting a little frustrated. There's a few fouls now. Greg Hurst, other than trying to press the centre-backs every now and again, is really just a spectator up there, just because New Mexico United can't get the ball forward with any kind of control. So if he does get the ball, he's outnumbered, and he just can't get up the field. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some changes coming pretty soon from New Mexico United.
That's the 24-year-old Trayvon Reed. The Jamaican international has 2 caps for the Reggae Boys. Restart here for New Mexico. Tambakis making his 94th league appearance for New Mexico United. Signed with the club in 2021 following the departure of Cody Mizell to MLS. Mizell moved on to NYCFC, won a championship there in MLS, and now is on the coaching staff of DC United with former New Mexico United head coaches Troy Lesane and Zach Prince. Herbert pings this one out of play. Anthony Herbert making his 5th start here for New Mexico. Picked up a 35th minute yellow card against RSL in the midweek. Also had 6 clearances. He was working defensively.
See New Mexico United just trying to calm things down here. Just trying to ping it around. They're just pinging around the back 4. Maples and Herbert playing a little catch, and then Abdi getting involved as well. But just trying to calm things down because they've been under a lot of pressure the first 15 minutes or so of this second half, and the patience has kind of paid off. Where now they've managed to advance the ball into the Oakland Roots zone.
Mohamed finds Quelle. For Zico Bailey now. Bailey is a similar area to where he scored against RSL in the midweek, just outside the box.
Great tackle. I think it was Cozy. It was a great tackle by him there, right as Zico Bailey was winding up for the shot. Just blocked it and snuffed it out.
And Reed sends this one into the crowd. Trayvon Reed, he actually just celebrated a birthday last week. Turned at 24, did Reed. A couple of changes here coming up for New Mexico. It's going to be Daniel Bruce and Nanan Hosu.
I'm sure Hosu's just going to sit with Zico Bailey. That's going to release Nicky Hernandez a little higher up the field. We talked about Greg Hurst. He's done a lot of work early on in the second half with 0 reward. So a little spark from Bruce, perhaps. Obviously, fan favourite, steps onto the field.
Nanan Hosu, out of the Ivory Coast, 23 years old. He's making his 4th appearance here in league play for the Black and Yellow. Great touch by Abdi Mohamed. He's looking to play the through ball there for Bruce. Instead has that one cut out. Daniel Bruce continues to make history for the Black and Yellow as he comes onto the pitch here tonight. It's his 130th appearance in all competitions for the club, which is the most all-time Not just 130 in all comps, 120 in USL Championship play. Daniel Bruce, of course, one of the Lone Rangers from the original roster. Actually, as I think about it, Chris, he is the Lone Ranger. Here's Hosu. He started the past couple of games for Eric Quill. They were high on him after acquiring him in a transfer from Loudoun back in February. Foul called. Nicky Hernandez wins the free kick here, and this one in a dangerous spot for New Mexico.
And honestly, this is where Nicky Hernandez is his more natural habitat, just behind the forward of Daniel Bruce, and you can see as Hosu's being brought onto the field, Nicky Hernandez immediately jumps a little higher up the pitch as well, and getting in the action right away, right around the Oakland Roots 18-yard box.
And so for New Mexico, it's Abdi Mohammed and Mukwele Akale standing over this. And this one a little bit outside the 18-yard box, Chris. As the attacker, you got to like this area. As you mentioned earlier, the proximity to goal posing a challenge. Here's Akale. And that one deflected by the wall. It's going to be a corner kick coming up now for the black and yellow. Corner kick coming up here. It's Quelle giving the signal. New Mexico searching for the go-ahead goal. Initial header away by Roots. Bailey plays this one back. And nobody home to get on the end of that ball.
It's interesting, the ebb and flow of this game. Obviously, New Mexico United, the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the second half, could not get out of their own half. They played that little bit of possession where they really didn't go anywhere. They almost tired out Oakland Roots. They were able to spring an attack. Now Oakland Roots can't get out of their own half, and New Mexico United are searching for that go-ahead goal now.
Hosu. Hosu in the midweek played 70 minutes against RSL. Did pick up a yellow card. Roots looking to counterattack now. Rodriguez pokes this forward for Najai. Nutmeg Zico Bailey. Najai near side. It's Cedeno. The halftime substitute, Cedeno. And he's stopped by Abdi Mohammed. Riley wins the header. Down to Hernandez. Astorga. Quelle now. Osu turns it over. Now Roots can counter. Quelle having to track back defensively. Roots might be onto something here. That shot goes wide. Plenty of questions being asked. That was cozy that time. The Burundi international, he's got 2 caps for the Burundi national team. Quelle goes down. No foul. It's going to be a throw in here for New Mexico instead. Looks like we're going to have a substitution here for Oakland. It's going to be Lindo Mfeka. He's replacing Danny Gomez. Gomez with the assist on the goal scored by Nabil Hackshaw earlier. Gomez picking up his 2nd assist in USL Championship play this season. That substitution brought to you by the Somos Unidos Foundation. Positive outcomes for every New Mexican. Lindo Mfeka out of South Africa. The veteran, 30 years old. Over 150 professional appearances to his name. He's been with Roots since they started in 2021. Prior to that, spent some time with Reno. He's actually teammates with Sergio Rivas and Chris Wehan out there in Reno. Here comes Nicky Hernandez after winning possession. Deon Harris. Harris thought about it. Bailey. Plays it off to Quelle on the far side. Able to track it down. Quelle, the Minneapolis native. Came on at the half against RSL. Had 21 touches during his time on the pitch. What a challenge there from Hosu. New Mexico turn it over once again in that midfield. 70th minute here at the Lab. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst on the call. It's Meow Wolf night. 11,000 on hand here to witness this showdown between New Mexico United and Oakland Roots. If you're just tuning in, it was Greg Hurst getting the party started for New Mexico early, scoring just 2 minutes into the match. It was a giveaway from Paul Blanchette that saw the striker chip the ball right over his head. That had everybody going crazy early on, but Roots have settled into this match nicely, even able to pull one back just after the halftime whistle. It was Nabil Hackshaw off a deflection in the 47th minute, and that's led us to where we are here. A couple of former New Mexico United coaching staff members on the sideline for Oakland Roots. And the current head coach Gavin Glitton, and goalkeeper coach Peter Davis. Another substitution coming in here, this time for New Mexico. It's going to be Chris Gloucester. So what I'm guessing here is that they used Gloucester instead of Reyes as part of the 18. You know, and we touched on that upcoming U.S. Open Cup matchup for New Mexico United against NYCFC2. Chris Gloucester, former NYCFC man, so he was excited down there pitch side when he found out on Wednesday that he's going to be going back to see some familiar faces. Down went Cozy, and you can see him being checked on by his teammates. That's the captain, Nabil Hakshaw. So they're going to leave this one for Babakar Najai. Kosu heads this one away. Harris, so fast. Here's Bruce on his 120th league appearance. And Bruce bulldozed. Was he in the box? And Bruce took a shot there. And look, I'm just going to say the obvious. Nabil Hakshaw is an absolute unit. And Daniel Bruce is much smaller.
I mean, yes, Captain Obvious, that is a fact. I mean, you hope Bruce is okay there. It looks like he's peeling himself up off the turf there, but just the buzz when he was running into space there. Great ball down the line, but that, I mean, that's it. And the easiest yellow card call you will ever see in your life. Not even close to playing the ball. And just glad to see Daniel Bruce get up after that one, because yeah, like you said, he took an absolute shock there.
74th minute yellow card issued to the captain, Nabil Hakshaw. 47th minute goal, 74th minute yellow card. That's how the Knights going for Hakshaw. Yellow card brought to you by Ferguson and Associates. Here's Mukwele off the free kick. It's Mukwele Akale's first league goal. It's his first goal at the Lab. And what a special one it is, as it sends New Mexico ahead of Oakland Roots.
He saw the keeper, Blanchette, just sneaking a step to his left there, and you can see Blanchette, he's just not had a good night, unfortunately, for the keeper. And he just snuck it in at the near post, and that's not good for any keeper to be beaten at the near post like that. But very, very smart heads-up play by Quelle, where, again, he just saw him take that little step, that little half a step to one side, knew he was cheating one way, and just popped it in the bottom corner. Great finish.
That's Mukwele Akale's second goal in all competitions this season. His first, Chris, in the U.S. Open Cup against the Lubbock Matadors. Nearly identical to what we just saw there. And there's another look at that TLC replay. What a goal for the Minneapolis native, Mukwele Akale. His first in league play for the Black and Yellow. Goals brought to you by Enterprise Builders, built on a foundation of trust for over 30 years. Now New Mexico with some work to do to see this one out for 3 points.
Yeah, and really it's out of nothing. I mean, obviously Daniel Bruce, that little spark where it dragged New Mexico 40 yards higher up the field, and then that free kick, which, you know, actually you could say it was an orange card maybe. But yeah, other than that, you know, New Mexico United have really struggled to test Blanchette. You can see he's still got his head in his hands. The keeper, he knows he's had one there, unfortunately, and it's not been a good night. I'd say both goals, he's had a hand in them, but New Mexico United were able to take advantage as well.
We're going to see some more substitutions here for Roots. It's going to be Napo Matsotso, and so Justin Rasmussen. Rasmussen started against San Jose in the midweek. These substitutions brought to you by the Somos Unidos Foundation. And while we've got a break in the action, confirmed 11,568 your attendance, brought to you by New Mexico Mutual. That is a season high here for the Black and Yellow at the Lab, Rio Grande Credit Union Field. What a match these 11,500 have been treated to so far. Down went Harris, no call. Diaz looking back post. And Rodriguez just unable to get on the end of that. Here's a stat for you, Chris. Oakland Roots, they've conceded 4 goals to opposition substitutes in the USL Championship this season. No other team has conceded more.
You've got to say, I mean, the changes that Coach Quill has made in the second half. Daniel Bruce again driving into space. Quelle finishing it off. No, it can't be understated. Hosu in midfield has really solidified that midfield. I think being able, him slotting in there and allowing Nicky Hernandez the freedom to roam and be in more attacking positions has really changed the dynamic of the second half.
Roots looking to play this forward. It was Matsoso. Bruce comes down with possession on the foul that led to the Quelle free kick goal. Hernandez now. Down goes Bruce in the box. Blanchette able to grab that. It looked like there was a foul on Nicky Hernandez. Play on, said the official. New Mexico seemed to have a little bit of a hop in their step following that goal. Roots, however, not laying down by any means.
No, they've shown in the second half. There was long periods of this second half where New Mexico United have just not been able to get out. Oakland Roots just had them pinned in, and we said at the time they were pressing so high.
Bruce trying to chip the keeper, and Blanchette was worried about it. He got on his horse to get back there.
That would have been cheeky. That would have been cheeky. That would have been the final nail in the coffin for Blanchette if he got lobbed from 50 yards there. But yeah, there was large periods where Oakland Roots had really had New Mexico United pinned in, and they were pressing so high and put so much energy into it, and they did. The energy just kind of ran out a little bit, and I think the substitutions have really made a difference for New Mexico.
Another substitute, that was Gloucester, making the run through the 18, just losing his footing. Gloucester making his 7th appearance on the season. Akali goes down and the foul is called. Well, we've got a second. Let us tell you about Select, the official matchball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. It's a foul on Zico Bailey. The double goal scorer in the midweek. It's Real Salt Lake. Gloucester able to keep that one in. You're on the near side going down the line. Cedeno, the halftime sub, the Ecuadorian. Naples heads that down to Zico. New Mexico this season at home, as we mentioned, just their 3rd home match of the league season. Perfect 2 for 2 so far as they dispatched Pittsburgh Riverhounds. The 5th anniversary of their first ever match. Here's Akale again looking for another one. This one headed away. And in the second home match, who can forget a memorable late comeback against arch rivals El Paso in early April? That leads us to where we are here. Obviously, plenty of points picked up on the road for Eric Quill, and those are essentially coins you're depositing in that piggy bank that's going to help much later down the road.
Yeah, and I mean, it's shown last year, you know, like Phoenix Rising didn't have a great start to the season at all last year, but look how they ended it. And so it's really not how it's begun, but it is nice to get those points in the bag. I feel like last year, New Mexico United were playing catch-up the whole time. They had those 2 bye weeks in the first 3 weeks. So they were always 2 games back, and they just never quite got in the rhythm early doors last year, and managed to put a run together towards the end, which obviously, you know, pushed them into the playoffs. But yeah, it was just an odd season, but getting a little bit ahead of steam right now.
Looks like we're going to see another substitution here for Oakland. Gavin Glinton bringing on Michi Nadir Cherry. Nadir Cherry was signed for Roots on November 17th, 2022. It's the Haitian forward. He bagged a couple of goals for Violet AC in that big upset against Austin FC in last year's CONCACAF Champions League. That knocked the Verde out of the tournament. Here come Roots, searching for an equalizer. 85th minute here at the Lab. 11,500 fans on hand. Diaz plays the cross in. Once again, looking for Rodriguez at the back post. Goal kick coming up here for Tambakis. Tambakis last season for New Mexico had 4 clean sheets in 25 appearances. Unfortunately, unable to finish the season due to injury, which then saw Andrew Thomas come in on loan for New Mexico, and he too was had a big performance in the midweek for Sounders.
I believe he signed a contract extension pretty recently as well. He's reaping the benefits. He, I think, the loan system, it's something that's used a lot over in Europe, and it really does benefit young players. And I like to think that Thomas benefited from the experience of playing in games that really matter in front of big crowds as well, here at New Mexico.
Thomas, for context, he went to penalties against Loose City. This one falls to Quelle. He's hoping for a second as he goes down. He's hoping to get a penalty call there. He's not going to get it. Roots looking to break. What a challenge there from Nanan Hosu.
What a tackle that was. Had to get it right. You're like, Quelle, I don't know who it was for Oakland Roots, but it seemed like he kind of went over the top of the ball a little bit. And what a tackle by Hosu, though, that in open field, marauding forwards and just puts a stop to it. No nonsense.
Here's Hernandez. Hosu plays this over to Gloucester. Gloucester had a stint with the PSV reserves. Here's Harris, unleashes one. And Dayon Harris strikes that one over the crossbar. 87th minute here at the Lab. Here's Harris. Hernandez finds Bruce. Daniel Bruce cuts it back. Daniel Bruce goes around, but the offside flag is up. The Lab is going to be celebrating, but they're quickly going to realize that their favorite Englishman, no offense, Chris, is not going to be credited with the goal. That certainly would have been the nail in the coffin for Oakland here tonight. As New Mexico looking to defeat Roots for the first time here on New Mexican soil. This ball chipped forward. Tambakis eventually falls on it.
See, New Mexico United, they've just managed to calm things down. They had that crazy 5-minute spell where they were all over the place at the back and really calming down, and now managing to keep Oakland Roots at arm's length. Oakland Roots seem to look like maybe they've just ran out of ideas and getting a little desperate, just starting to pump balls into the box now, and relatively comfortable for New Mexico United to deal with so far.
This ball headed down, it's Rodriguez. Rodriguez! That was deflected out by Maples. Corner kick coming up here for Oakland. Rodriguez, as you mentioned earlier, Chris, he scored the game winner against New Mexico last season out at Pioneer Stadium. Trayvon Reed has been asking plenty of questions here tonight as well. He scored here at the Lab last time out. It was the second goal in the 2-1 win for Roots. Here's Diaz. This one falls back and it's fizzed over the crossbar. Lindo and Feka looking for the equalizer. Got a good look there at Sharkbait, as he's affectionately known as in the supporters section. Before we see or hear the full-time whistle, got to give a shout out. There were some Oakland Roots fans that we saw down here at the Lab tonight. Some Oakland football flags flying here in the stands. Always love to see some visiting supporters coming out to taking a match at one of the best atmospheres in the USL Championship.
Riley there at the back for Oakland Roots, taking absolutely no prisoners. Is that Hernandez? Went straight through the back off. Yes, it is. Just feels like I don't think Riley really believed he had any chance of getting a touch on the ball, but decided just to clean everything out on his way through and hope for the best. And Hernandez feeling the brunt of that one.
We'll have another look here on our TLC replay. Yeah, just right through the back of Nicky Hernandez, landed on top of him as well.
I guess he did touch the ball. I think it was his arm or his shoulder, but he definitely took no prisoners.
San Antonio and Las Vegas Lights play to a 1-1 draw here tonight. It's back-to-back draws in league play for San Antonio as they drew at home to a very youthful Oakland Roots side last weekend. Gavin Clinton rolling out a very academy-centered lineup. Throw in here for Gloucester. Into stoppage time we are. 4 minutes of New Mexico Pinon Coffee stoppage time. Celebrating 30 years. Great coffee since '94. Hosu concedes possession there off the header. Mexico looking to lock in defensively here. Almost 2.5 minutes gone by in stoppage time. Rodriguez makes the run. He goes down, looking to get a call, and
really well defended by Maples. Just stood his ground, and Rodriguez just basically bounced off him. You can see Maples just wagging his finger like there was nothing there, just in case the referee was thinking about it.
Tempakis taking his time here with this goal kick. Oakland last season had a tough go, finished 10th in the Western Conference, which saw them outside of the playoff picture. Finished on 42 points, picked up 11 wins in the campaign. 2 of those wins coming against the black and yellow. They did the double over New Mexico last year. Abdi Mohammed plays this forward. Here's the goal scorer, Mukwele Akale, with the go-ahead free kick goal in the 74th minute. Round of applause from the fans in the stands here tonight. 3 points within reach as the return to Albuquerque for Gavin Glinton and Peter Davis is not as sweet as they hoped. Elation and smiles all around the lab here as time ticking down on second half stoppage. Something tells me this may just be the final kick of the match. Well past the 4 minutes of allotted stoppage time. Not quite the final kick. Osu sends that one all the way back into row L. Last chance here for Roots. Headed away by Herbert. Hernandez pokes it back. Here's Bruce. Hernandez finds Akale. Can New Mexico add one more for good measure? Akale to Bruce. Bruce comes back into possession, and Bruce makes the smart play, and he's going all the way over to that corner flag. He's getting a chippy down there, and the official having to step in. That is the full-time whistle here at the lab. New Mexico victorious over Oakland Roots for the first time at home here in club history. New Mexico also now 3 for 3 here at the lab to start off. Eric Quillsman flying high.
Yeah, fortress the lab right now, and that's what you want to do. You need to win your home games and see if you can pick up points on the road, and so far New Mexico United able to do that. Huge win tonight just to keep that momentum going and keep the points tally ticking over.
That is Mukwele Akale. He's your play of the match winner, brought to you by the Somos Unidos Foundation for his free kick goal in the 73rd minute. It's his first season with the black and yellow. His first league goal tonight with the black and yellow as well. Your man of the match, Dayon Harris. He was inserted into the starting lineup late, Chris. Played all 90 minutes. Had the ball at his feet quite a bit.
Yeah, like his pace was a thorn in the side of Oakland Roots for the entire evening, and speed kills, and he's got a lot of it.
Tony Herbert, credited with your save of the match here tonight. He came up big for the black and yellow defensively, and as things stand, he's showing no signs of relinquishing that spot in Eric Quill's starting 11. So we'll go ahead and step aside for just a moment. We'll be back to wrap things up after this break. Your final score, New Mexico United 2, Oakland Roots 1.
With more ways to win, whatever game you play, Sandia Resort Casino. Now more than ever. Close to home, far from ordinary.
3 points here at the Lab for the 11,500 fans who were on hand here as New Mexico United defeat Oakland Roots 2-1. Goals from Greg Hurst and Mukwele Akale see the black and yellow ahead of the visitors. Let's have a look at those goals here. It's our full-time highlights brought to you by Ferguson Law Firm. Starting off 1 minute and 45 seconds into the match. It's the fastest goal in league play this season for New Mexico United. The fourth goal of the campaign for Greg Hurst.
Yeah, not the start. Obviously, Oakland Roots wanted Blanchett. We'll be talking about him again later on as well. A night to forget for him, unfortunately. But Greg Hurst, the confidence and the composure to just dink the ball over him when presented the opportunity. And that's a player with full of confidence right now.
Now, this just out of the halftime break. 47th minute, Nabil Hackshaw has a go from outside of the box. It deflects off of Talon Maples, and that's the equalizer for Oakland Roots.
Yeah, you can see nothing Tambakis could do about that there. The deflection so close to him, was already committed to the shot, and it was one of those things. But New Mexico United, as the game went on, found a way.
They find a way, courtesy of Mukwele Akale, the free kick goal, and that sees the black and yellow ahead in the 74th minute, and they would not look back after that as Mukwele notches his first league goal and a massive win for the black and yellow.
Yeah, you can see Blanchett there just on that replay there. That camera angle, he just has a little look over his left shoulder expecting the cross, steps away from that near post. Mukwele just picks it off, and a great little finish.
Before we get out of here, let's have a look at our full-time stats brought to you by Duke City Cares. As things went on, Oakland Roots caught up in shots. New Mexico had most of theirs on target, most of the possession. It got close there towards the end, Chris.
Yeah, it was a very, very close second half. Obviously 1-1, in terms of goals in the second half as well. New Mexico United probably did the damage in the first half. But the ebb and flow of the game, this was two very evenly matched teams, and big moments changed games, and New Mexico United came out on top of that.
And so for New Mexico United, coming up next, it is a test in the U.S. Open Cup as they're going to be traveling out to the Big Apple to take on MLS Next Pro side NYCFC 2 the midweek there of the, I believe it's the 21st. Then we'll be back here again, Chris, on the 25th of May. It's Soccer Salute Service Night as New Mexico United welcomes San Antonio into the Lab. That is their next league match, so a bye week coming up here for the black and yellow. I'm sure they may not want that to come with the rich vein of form that they're in, but that's going to do it for us here this evening. It was Meow Wolf night at the Lab. New Mexico victorious over Oakland Roots for the first time, 2-1 for everybody here. Part of our broadcast for our director, Gary Williams, for Chris Hurst on color. Happy birthday, my friend Chris. We won't get into what that is there. Thanks for being on the call. My name's Tyler Ortega. We'll catch you next time.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.